Mm. Hey there, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. What? Yes. No, it's the hat. If I put the other hat on, I'd look just like I used to. The hat's what does it. So, no worry, nothing's changed. So, anyway, I want to talk about my light that I bought last week. This is that P785, the LED cable lights, 3-string of lights all strung together. Power base is ambidextrous. It does both 110 and the Ryobi. It's not a bad little unit. It's too bad they didn't put individual switches on the lights. And the only light is this one here, and you have to push it. It's hard pushing, but you got to push it, and it rotates through the different levels of light and then the off. So you got to push it 4 times by the time you turn it on and back off. Every time, 4 pushes. So that's okay. It is what it is. It's really a great little light, and it has a lot of capabilities of more than just a string of lights. This thing, but the problem was when I got it, it was like trying to arm wrestle a octopus. The thing is just, it was going everywhere, and it was hard to roll up the cables, and what a pain. So I knew immediately this thing needed some kind of caddy. Why that Ryobi didn't do that to begin with is beyond me, but that's what it really needs, and that makes this a really nice light. Let me show you what I've done with it and what you can do with it now in comparison, and you'll see why this is a great light to have in any shop or even a homeowner. If you live in a home, this is handy to have around the house. A nice little light. So it beats the heck out of one of these things. I'll tell you that right now. So anyway, it can also be used as a area light as well as a work light. You can focus all of these in one central spot, or you can spread these out, turn them in different directions, and then spread that light out so that you can light up a whole wall or a whole room. Point them up. Instead, if you point them all up into the air and turn it on, you'll get more light. Take this, raise it up a little higher, and you can really get some good light. Turn them back downward and turn them on. You can get a wide light for underneath. So it has a lot of versatile capability now that it's on a Caddy. Let me tell you real quick the parts of this. So you have your base, and then wire comes out of the base and goes into light number 1. Wire comes out of that, goes into light number 2. From there, it goes over to light number 3. And that's the way the wire runs. So you want to kind of keep your orientation on which light is which, with 3 being the one furthest away from the base. And that way, sometimes I like to use just a single light. And this allows me, I know that number 3 is the one that I want, and unroll the cord, and I can use number 3 then freehand and leave the others 2 there, even when I turn it on. As long as I still have this one free, gives me a nice little handheld light to get into tight quarters and stuff with. So, and being the fact that it's LED, you don't burn yourself with this thing either, like you do with some of the old-fashioned lights, like this with the incandescent bulbs. It gets hot. So this has a lot of great possibilities, and it can emulate a work light to shine concentrate. It also works as a area light to light up a whole room, a whole area if you want. And you can point it in any direction you want in all 3D. So you can run it off a battery and 110. So that makes it really pretty ambidextrous. Now these cord managers that they gave you on this unit, there's 3 of them. To put one in between each of the lights, in between the light and the base, to manage these cords. Without that, you wouldn't even, this thing would be a nightmare without some kind of cord thing. And this is a pretty good cord. Has a slot for you to pin your wire into, so that you can, after you loop it up all the way, and then you can clip it into any one of the 4 that are on here. And from there, that never come out. But it's easy to take in and out, but that keeps it from falling out and unraveling. So it holds the cable really well, and you can take both ends and hook it in, wind it up. And so it's easy to wind and unwind. I used them for now on the Caddy, but I'd like to change that system. I'll try to remember to tell you about that before we're done. But let's talk about the Caddy itself. in order to manage the lights, I took, and the Caddy has 3 major parts. It has the base right here, and then we have these lollipops, which each one is attached to a light with a carriage bolt and a wing nut through a piece of wood. And this is a dowel, and then my base has dowel holes in it all the way around the perimeter of it, so I can put these in any dog hole that I want to use to hold the light. And that holds the light, and then from there, wherever it is, I can turn the light in any direction still. So that gives me good light control and direction from anywhere on this. The unit is designed also that if I wanted to pick it up, I can have a good handle back here that I put on the center of gravity, so when I grab a hold of it and I lift it up off of the stand, it's balanced. So it's not too hard to hold. Little bulky, but it gets the job done. And you can use this like this without any problem if you really wanted to. So the handle makes a nice little feature for that. And if you want to set it down on a flat surface, I put these cable managers in such a way to form a tripod, so that when you get to a flat surface, where is it? Okay, here we go. When you get to a flat surface, sorry, this one was misbehaving. It sits flat on the surface now on these little legs here. And then you can still take these then and put them at different locations around on this thing, wherever you want, to use this thing on a flat surface and set up some lighting. So the base is made to sit in here or to stand freestand on a flat surface. So that is also very useful at times. I also by having the bench dog here, I can set that directly into here if I want to, instead of using the pole that comes with it. This also fits into any bench dog hole around the shop. I can set it there and it'll sit there for me to unravel and use this thing if I want to use it anywhere in the shop. So the Caddy is nice that I can set it anywhere on any bench dog hole. As far as the stand, this is just an old lamp, a floor lamp, and at the top is all taken off, used somewhere else, so I'm repurposing the base. And on the base, this is one of 3 weights. It's a 2.5 pounder, and I put that on there, and that gives me a little more heaviness at the bottom of the stand to keep it less likely to tip over. If I want to take this light fixture here and mount it on the stick, put it up this way, so that now I'm going to mount that light 6 feet or 7 feet in the air on top of here. That makes this thing a little bit tedier. Well, that's no problem either, because I can just take and add another weight and slide it down on there. I got plenty of weights, and I can temporarily add weight to that if I'm going to extend where this thing sits, because it's pretty heavy. So you want to make sure that base has a good weight on it to offset this thing up high. That way it won't get too much top heavy. Also, if you wanted to, you could put this up high and put a board vertical on there and take the 2 lights and spread them out that way to make kind of like a tree out of the stand. Put some extra weight down there and it would hold it without any problem. So if you're in a room that you want that light to really spread out, you can do that with this and set it up and use this to make a quick tree just with a piece of 2x4 and with what you have here. So the base actually is pretty good. It really adds to it, and it gives me a place to store this. Excuse me. It gives me a place to store it when I'm not using it. And it's mobile because I can set it off into the corner until I need it. I can pick it up, set it anywhere in the shop I want to use it, and either leave it on the base or use the built-in bench dog to set it in a bench dog hole somewhere. So, as far as the the base itself, I took and I have what I call the lollipops here. And they hold the light fixture that then I can put the light fixture anywhere on the base. I put bench dog holes all the way around. Now I still want to put some kind of set screw on each of these holes so that if I put it in there, I can actually lock it down so that it won't move in the bench dog hole. Just like I did on my regular bench on all these bench dog holes. I have a set screw going in from here so I can lock something in there. Do the same thing here. That'll make these more stable. Then I can put them in any place, lock it down. So I'll probably have to use a tool for that. So I'll probably end up going to and make another tool like I have here, which is just an Allen wrench. There it is. That I stuck on a dowel. So I did this. I talked about this in an early video a couple of years ago about bench dogs and how I use this to make it so I can lock my bench dogs down. So if you want to know, let me know and I'll give you a link to it. This, I'll have to make something like this and use the little set screws. I have a bunch of them. They're 1/4 20, and I'll just have to put them in so that I can then grab this and have this tool dedicated on the stand somewhere, and I'll be able to take this and turn and lock them individually and loosen them to take and move it from one position to another, so that if I decide later on I'd rather always keep these here, I can do that without any problem, because I would use this to take them in and out wherever they're at. So a nice little tool. I think eventually will make this even better than it already is. So there's lots of little improvements like that I want to do to it, and I'm thinking about it as I'm using it. If you have any ideas or suggestions about how to use it, you can let me know. But that's the start of it. I wanted to show you where I was at, since I've got it to a point where now it's functional. I actually will now use this around the shop or in the house or wherever I need to use it. The cool thing about it is that it's multitasking, because not only can I use it all the time around the shop as a utility light, but if I lose power in the house, fogs, forced off-grid survival, I can take this, put a battery in here, and I get up to 15 hours of light from this without any problem. That I can light up the whole room, and I can use this to do my lighting in the house instead of trying to use something like this in there. So it'll give me a real good lighting, and I can run it off of one of my Ryobi batteries while it's doing that. So I can also use that. Plus, I'm also trying to think about how I can maybe use this so that if I take my van, because I'm talking about doing a van build, and it's going to be a multitasker, it'll be a cargo van, and I'll be able to convert it to a camper van in under an hour, or theoretically. I'll probably maybe try to incorporate this as my lights in the van when I want to go out somewhere and camp. I'll be able to use this as my lights, interior lights on the van, and just use batteries and plug them in here as I need them. When one runs out, I can plug another one in here, and I'll just keep charging them off of my power system that I have, off-grid power system that I use on the van, whatever that ends up being. And I'll be able to recharge these back up in an hour. So I think it'll make for a pretty good lighting system. My fans, those are already my Ryobi fans. Those are incorporated into both my fogs strategy, and I'll use them in the van if I go to camper mode again. I'll give me a couple of fans to have in the van available while I'm in the van living in it. So I think this is a great addition, and like I said, now it's a multitasker. Not only as a light, but it's a multitasker for what I use it for. I am going to pretty it up sooner or later, I'm sure, but this is a basic function of it, and I wanted to try to make sure how it functions and make sure it works, and then I'll start trying to think of ways to make it look a lot nicer. And I may even change my lollipops to what they are now to something a little different. We'll see. But anyway, it's a start. Any questions about this? Any comments? Any new ideas? Leave them in the comments. I love to read them. If you like this video, you learned something here, hit that like button. It lets me know I'm doing the right thing around here. Most importantly, though, please come back again, because as the sign says, I'm nowhere near done. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon. And oh, I'll wear my other hat so you'll recognize me next time, okay? So, thanks a lot, and thanks for noticing. So, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.